Just a few minutes of morning prayer can change your entire day. This isn't just a comforting saying, it's a truth that those who've experienced it know deep in their hearts. When you begin your morning in connection with the divine, your heart finds its rightful place, a place where peace, forgiveness, and grace dwell together. Morning is the most sacred moment of the day. When the first light of dawn slips through your window, the world is renewed, and so are you. Yet too often, we reach for our phones, drown ourselves in headlines, messages, and to-do lists. But what if, just for a moment, you paused? You took a deep breath, closed your eyes, and allowed your spirit to settle. In that stillness, you are giving yourself the most precious gift of all, a moment of connection with God, with your soul, and with your purpose. A morning prayer doesn't have to be long or elaborate. Sometimes, it's as simple as whispering, "Lord, thank you for this new day. Please guide me to walk in your light, and let all that I do be filled with love and peace." Simple words, yet full of power. When you start with gratitude, you open the door for blessings to flow. When you ask for guidance, you align your life with light. And when you choose forgiveness, whether toward others or yourself, you step out of the shadows of pain and into the warmth of healing. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the hurt never happened. It means choosing to release it. It's telling your soul, I choose peace over bitterness. I choose healing over hatred. Each morning that you make that choice, your heart grows lighter and your spirit stronger. Many people live tired, restless lives simply because they've forgotten how to start right. They wake up carrying the weight of yesterday, the regrets, the anger, the wounds. But you don't have to keep doing that. You can start anew today. Let your prayer be the key that unlocks the dawn of your soul. Let your first breath be gratitude. Your first thought be grace. Imagine this. You open your eyes. Sunlight brushes your face, and you softly whisper, "Lord, I give this day to you. Whatever I face, I choose love. I choose forgiveness. I choose peace." Just a few seconds. But those words can transform everything. They shift your perspective, soften your heart, and draw goodness toward you, not by luck, but because your soul is now tuned to the frequency of blessing. In this walk of faith, what matters most isn't how far you've gone, but how you begin. Each morning is a fresh start, a sacred chance to begin again. To choose light over darkness. Never underestimate the first few moments of your day, for it is there that you write the first chapter of everything that follows. When you pray, you are not merely speaking, you are listening. When you bow your head, you are not weak, you are finding strength in surrender. And when you forgive, you are not losing, you are opening your heart to receive joy, love, and peace multiplied 100-fold. So before you rush into the noise of the world, before responsibilities pull you in every direction, take one quiet minute for your spirit. Say to God, to the universe, to your very soul, I am grateful for this day. I choose to live in love. I choose to walk in forgiveness. I choose to let your grace lead me. And then, watch how everything changes. Your steps become lighter. Your heart feels calmer, and even the world around you seems a little brighter. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it opens the door to your future. This simple sentence carries a power that can transform a person's entire life, because no one can truly live in the present while still chained to the pain of yesterday. And the only key that can break that chain is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not an easy act. Some wounds run deeper than words can reach. There are betrayals, harsh words, and losses that leave scars we think we'll never heal from. But the truth is, forgiveness isn't about accepting what was wrong, it's about freeing yourself from the prison of pain. When you refuse to forgive, you carry an invisible weight. It drains your peace, clouds your thoughts, and burdens your heart. Anger, resentment, and bitterness burn quietly inside you, like a hidden fire consuming your joy. Forgiveness is the moment you decide to extinguish that fire, to let your soul breathe again. Think about the people who've hurt you. Maybe they never apologized. Maybe they don't even realize how deeply they wounded you. But the moment you choose to forgive, something miraculous happens. You take back your power. They no longer control how you feel. Forgiveness becomes the most courageous expression of love. Someone once said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. How true that is. The longer you cling to anger, the more it poisons your own heart. But when you release it, you open the door for light to enter. Your heart is cleansed, your spirit renewed, and your steps become lighter. Prayer is the sacred path that leads you toward forgiveness. Each time you close your eyes and whisper, Lord, I give you my pain. Help me let go. Help me forgive. Help me find peace. That prayer becomes like a stream of living water, washing away the ashes of resentment. You don't need to understand it all, or pretend the hurt never happened. Just trust that God can heal what humans cannot. And then, something beautiful begins to happen. You start to see life differently. The ones who hurt you become teachers who taught you compassion. The pain you endured becomes the soil where your strength grows. Forgiveness doesn't erase your past, it transforms the way you see it. If you're reading or listening to these words and feel that something inside you still needs to be released, let this be your moment of change. Leave a comment below saying, I choose to forgive. It may seem like a small act, but it's a declaration of promise to yourself that today you choose healing over hurting. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button, not just to support the message, but as a personal reminder that you've chosen to walk in peace, not pain. Forgiveness isn't about setting others free, it's about setting yourself free. It opens your heart to kindness and brings you back to your true, loving nature. When you forgive, you stop being a victim of your past and become the creator of your future. In time, you'll see that healing doesn't come from forgetting. It comes from looking back with a renewed heart. Forgiveness is your soul's yes to life, a quiet acceptance that every wound can become a blessing when touched by grace. So don't wait until you feel ready to forgive, because that day may never come. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a decision. You choose it even when it hurts, even when it's hard. And when you do, God will take care of the rest. No wound is meaningless if it brings you closer to God. This simple truth reveals something profound. Every pain carries within it the seed of healing. The question is, do we have the courage to look at our wounds through the eyes of faith? Healing is not about forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it never happened. Healing is the process of looking back at your pain without trembling, remembering the hurt without tears. It's a quiet transformation, where the heart is purified and the soul is restored in grace. When you choose forgiveness, the seed of healing is planted. But for that seed to grow, it must be nurtured with patience, prayer, and gratitude. Sometimes God doesn't take the pain away immediately, because it is in the very process of pain that we learn to grow, to trust, and to love more deeply. Many people ask, how do I know if I've truly been healed? The answer is simple yet profound. When you can look back on the past and feel peace instead of bitterness. When you can pray for those who hurt you without anger. When you can thank God even for the pain, then you have been healed. Healing rarely happens in noise. It arrives in silence, in the quiet moments when you sit alone, breathe deeply and whisper, Lord, I don't understand why this happened, but I trust that you have a reason. I believe that every pain carries a lesson. Sometimes God allows us to experience pain, not to punish us, but to prepare us for a stronger heart, for a deeper compassion, for a greater capacity to love. Without brokenness, how could we ever understand the beauty of wholeness? Without tears, how could we ever appreciate the sweetness of joy? Healing is also about being thankful for your scars, because through them, you become wiser, humbler, and more empathetic. Those who have walked through darkness know the true value of light. Those who have fallen know how to lift others who are stumbling. Every day, spend a few quiet moments praying for your healing, not just of the body, but of the soul. Say, Lord, please heal the parts of me I cannot see, the wounds I cannot touch, but that still cause me pain. Turn my scars into signs of your grace. Soon you'll begin to notice something beautiful. The very things that once broke you will become the things that strengthen you. The scars that once embarrassed you will become proof of resilience and faith. Because it is in your weakness that God's grace shines most powerfully. No two journeys of healing are the same. For some, it takes months, for others years. But what matters most is that you're moving forward, not standing still. Every day you choose to forgive a little more, love a little deeper, and pray a little longer. That's progress. That's resurrection. And know this, God never wastes a single tear. Every tear you've shed waters the soil for something beautiful yet to bloom. What you lost yesterday, He replaces today with peace. One day, you'll look back and realize you've changed. You're still you, but softer, wiser, stronger. Your heart will be gentler, your eyes warmer, your voice filled with compassion. You will no longer fear being hurt, because you now understand. After every wound, a miracle is waiting. Healing is not a destination. It's a journey, a sacred walk where you learn to love yourself, trust God, and live each breath with intention. And as you walk this path, your healed heart will begin to shine, radiating the light of grace that can touch and heal others too. Grace is not a reward for the perfect. It's a gift for those who dare to believe. This truth reminds us that every beautiful thing in life does not come because we deserve it, but because of God's unconditional love. Grace is the most miraculous thing a soul can experience. It doesn't come from effort, from doing enough, or from being good enough. Grace comes like a gentle breeze, slipping through the cracks of a broken heart, carrying healing, hope, and light. When you allow yourself to live in grace, life transforms. You no longer live to earn your worth, but to trust and live fully in love. When you understand grace, you stop blaming yourself for the mistakes of the past. Instead of asking, "Why am I so weak?" you begin to whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for loving me even in my weakness." That is the power of grace. Love without conditions, mercy without limits. Many people think grace is only for the holy, the righteous, the ones who have done well. But that's not true. Grace is light shining into the darkness, a hand reaching out to the lost, an embrace for the broken-hearted. God doesn't wait for you to be perfect before He loves you. He loves you so that you may become whole. Think back on your own journey. How many times you thought you couldn't go on, yet somehow you stood up again? How many times you cried silently, and peace came to you in ways you couldn't explain? That was not coincidence. That was grace moving through your life. Even when you couldn't see it, He was there, quietly lifting you when you fell. Grace also teaches us humility and compassion. When you realize your life is sustained by God's love alone, you stop judging others. You no longer think someone is undeserving, because you understand everyone is fighting their own battle, and all of us need love, forgiveness, and mercy. To live in grace does not mean your life will be free of storms, but it means you walk knowing you are never alone. Even when the winds rise and the waves crash, you can rest in the assurance that His hand is holding yours, and that, by itself, is enough peace to calm any storm. There will be days when grace feels distant, when God seems silent, when your prayers seem unanswered, but it's often in those quiet, empty moments that He works the deepest. He may not change your situation yet, but He is changing you, making you stronger, wiser, and more rooted in love. Living in grace also means seeing life through the eyes of gratitude. Every morning becomes a miracle. Every breath is a reminder that you are loved. You don't need everything to be perfect to feel peace. You just need to trust that everything is held in His good plan. Grace is freedom. It frees you from guilt, fear, comparison, and the endless pressure to prove yourself. You don't have to deserve God's love, because He has loved you from the beginning, even when you never could deserve it. That is the beautiful mystery of grace. And when you begin to notice grace in everything, in sunlight, in laughter, in prayer, your heart becomes lighter. You stop living in fear and start living in thankfulness. You stop trying to control everything and start surrendering to the One who already holds it all. Let every morning begin with these words: I don't know what today will bring, but I know you're with me, and that is enough. When you live this way, you are walking in true grace, not because you are strong, but because you trust, not because you are perfect, but because you are loved. There's something we often forget amid the rush of life. Peace is not a destination, it's a state of the soul when it learns to live in forgiveness, healing, and grace. When you forgive, you set yourself free. When you allow God to heal you, you open the door for light to enter. And when you walk in grace, you let love guide every step of your journey. Faith is never a straight road. There will be days when you are strong and steady, and there will be moments when you feel lost, weak, or ready to give up. Yet even in the darkest hours, God is still working, not around you, but within you. He turns pain into wisdom and tears into seeds of faith. Every time you choose to forgive someone, your heart becomes lighter. Every time you choose peace instead of resentment, you give yourself the gift of freedom. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means no longer allowing the past to control your present. When you forgive, you're telling yourself, I choose peace over bitterness. Healing, on the other hand, is an act of courage. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey of facing your wounds, accepting your pain, and trusting that God is still holding your hand through every scar of your soul. Each wound that once broke you will someday become proof that grace carried you through, and when you finally learn to live in grace, everything changes. You begin to see meaning in the smallest moments, a ray of morning light, a kind word, or a warm embrace. You realize that grace isn't just found in churches or prayers. It's in every breath, every act of kindness, every moment of love. Those who live in forgiveness, healing, and grace carry within them a unique light. Not the light of perfection, but the light of a heart once broken that still chooses to love. That light makes them different. It makes them a comfort to others, and a living testimony that God's love is real. You may still face pain, loss, and challenges ahead, but now you know how to face them, not with fear, but with faith. You understand that no matter how the world changes, God never changes. He is still there, still loving you, still pouring grace into your life every single day. Let today be the beginning of a new journey. A journey where you no longer live trapped by your past, but awake in the present, with a heart that's healed, a soul that forgives, and a spirit anchored in God's unending grace. This morning, as you open your eyes, whisper this simple prayer: Lord, thank you for a new day. Give me eyes to see your grace in all things, ears to hear your voice in the silence, and a heart to love as you have loved me. If you begin each day with this prayer, no matter what happens, you'll always walk in light. You'll realize that even the smallest things are miracles in disguise. Remember this truth: forgiveness makes you free, healing makes you strong, and grace allows you to live as your truest self, peaceful, gentle, and full of love. Every day is a gift, and you, right now, are proof that God's love is still at work in this world. Thank you for joining me on this journey of prayer, faith, forgiveness, and healing. If this message has touched your heart, if it brought you even a moment of peace, consider subscribing to this channel, not for numbers or fame, but so we can continue sharing light, faith, and grace with more hearts around the world.